Yo, 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 what is up? It is the 29th of December here in Tokyo. Welcome to episode, what is it? 39 of Player Life. So yeah, I'm just chilling out here in Tokyo, having a good old time. Hope you all had a good Christmas. Wherever you're at, whether you're on some kind of bullshit lockdown or wherever, chilling at home with your family. Oh man, I was out. Christmas in Japan is like it's just kind of a normal working day. So, but it was on a Friday night, obviously here. So it was actually a good night to party. It was, because Friday night, Christmas, Tokyo. There's no lockdown here, so it was pretty lit night. I got insanely lit on whiskey that night. Too much whiskey. It was crazy. Linked up with one of my Japanese buddies, and yeah, we went bowling. We started the night off. Went to a bowling alley. Bowling in Japan is lit because I don't know about other places, but in Ireland you can't. I don't think you can order food or drinks while bowling, but in Japan you can order food and drinks on the bowling alley, and yeah, we just basically I was just started off drinking whiskey and coke. Uh, Winston Wolf in the house. What is up, buddy? Uh, I was on the Jack Daniels that night. Yeah, but that stuff. Yeah, if alcohol was invented today, it would be a class A drug. That's some yeah. I was drinking Jack and Coke. Pretty much drank that all night. Decided not to mix my drinks. I find if I mix drinks, that's when you really get sick. That's when if you mix drinks, that's when the hangover really gets you. But yeah, but the thing about whiskey is I don't know. I don't lose. Yeah, I don't get sloppy with whiskey. Like it just kind of makes you like crazy. It's like it goes to your head rather than your body. For me, anyway. I don't know. But if I drink like a lot of like 10 pints of beer, depending on the beer, but it'll be more like physical. You'll be more like you know. But with whiskey, I don't know. It's more like just it makes you like crazy. But yeah, so Friday night bowling, went to like yakiniku. Yakiniku is after the bowling went to yakiniku. Yakiniku is like a grill. You go to a restaurant, they put a grill on the table. Well, it depends on the type, but the one we went to, they give you a grill, then they bring you a bunch of different kinds of meat, then you just fry it up yourself, and that's some good shit too. Um, yeah. So after that, yeah, I just ate a bunch of meat, kind of. Yeah. By the way, bowling's fun. I hadn't been bowling in a long time. It's actually it's a good shit. It's good shit. Um, but I'll probably do that again. Yeah, I ate a bunch of meat, and then yeah, I just started. We also you had like when you go to these yakiniku kind of places, grilled meat places, you can get like it's called like tabe hodai. It's like all you can eat, all you can drink, or nomi hodai. So we're just basically as much as you want within a set time limit. A lot of Japanese restaurants and bars do kind of all you can eat, all you can drink for like a set price. Winston says, in Shibuya, indeed. How did you know? In Shibuya. Yeah, Shibuya is like my go to spot. it's kind of it's pretty close to where I live. I live about, you know, I can be in Shibuya if I leave my door. I can be there in less than half an hour, and that's like you know, the busiest, like the busiest place in Tokyo probably. You know, the famous crosswalk where there's like thousands of people walking around. And yeah, it's just it's as busy as it ever was. It's there's no sign of any you know any for a while, you know. Well, not for the longest time, but certainly now it's as busy as it ever was. Like pre bear bug, like it's, you know, it's just crazy crowds. It's, I don't know, I like it because I'm from, you know, I'm from Ireland, so we don't have crowds in Ireland. There's It's like we don't have that kind of buzz. So like, I guess I'm attracted to that kind of like craziness. I like it more than you know, people who grew up here kind of don't necessarily like it because it's like they get tired of the crowds and stuff. But I don't know, I'm attracted to like big cities and big crowds, busy places, because, you know, I like that stuff. Christian Matico in the house. What is good? Long time no see. Yeah, I think last time I did a live stream was Thursday night. So yeah, Friday was like Christmas. What was it? Friday was Christmas Eve. Friday was Christmas Eve, was it? God, I'm losing track of time. When was it? No, Friday was Christmas actually. Oh shit, yeah. So yeah, Christmas was Friday. So yeah, I just went out on the tear. Um, yeah, I've just kind of been chilling since then, trying to get my head straight. Trying to get my head straight. That was like, yeah, I don't know. It was a wild night. Like it was too wild. Yeah, I don't know. Usually, I'm the type of guy that even when I even when I do like get like really fucked up drunk, I can always remember like 95 almost everything. I don't so I never really related. I'm kind of suspicious of people who pretend that they can't remember stuff, but whiskey will actually give you blackout. Like you actually will not remember. Like um you won't remember certain things. Like like I got some messages the next day, like on my phone. You know, what was it? Someone hit me up and like was like, "Yo, what's good, bro?" And like I could see that I exchanged messages the night before, like that. It, you know, um, it said Thomas phone number. Yo, it was like at 3:30 a.m. on whatever was Sunday morning, and yeah, the next I have no idea who that was. Like that part of the night, no idea what happened. Um, uh, Winston says, "Ever woke up to a stranger? Never happened to me. Um, I've never. Mm, I mean, no, I've never like woken up with someone who I didn't know how I met them or how I. Because like I said, I usually remember pretty much everything, like even the small details, like regularly. But you know, I actually do have blackout from uh from some of yeah, that night. I have no, yeah, I have no idea what happened at certain parts, but uh Christian says, "Good to know I'm not the only one who remembers everything when messed up." Yeah, I'm kind of, you know, I think a lot of people just pretend that they can't remember stuff because they're embarrassed about, you know, their behavior. You know, because a lot of people actually are kind of embarrassed about their behavior when they're drunk because it's not really them. It's not really how they would behave normally. So, and they usually say things that they wouldn't say. You know, they do things that they wouldn't do. So they kind of fall back on pretending not to remember stuff, to kind of cover their ass, kind of save face. But it's yeah, with whiskey, it might be a bit of an exception if you really like if you're just drinking whiskey all night. Yeah, that's a different ball game. That stuff's like it's more like I don't know. It's more like a hard drug or something. Um, da, 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 da. Winston says the stream quality is super low. Sound is slightly choppy, but I'm glad to see the show. Oh, good, good to thanks for letting me know. I don't know why that is. Have to check the connection. Yeah, I'll just have to see how it goes. I don't know. I'm not sure how to fix that right now. But yeah, we just continue on. Uh, Christian says, "Drunk mind speaks sober hearts." Remember that. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It depends. I know a lot of people that yeah. Some people, the truth can come out when you're drunk for sure, but maybe even more exaggerated truth. Miguel Garcia in the house. What is good? What is good? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why it's. I don't know why it's still blurry connection. I need to get. I need to. It's just the internet in this building can be unreliable at times. I don't know. Just have to work through it. But I do remember some. There was one. There was one point of the night where I went to this. I was in this club, and it's kind of like a club slash bar. And at one point, I met this American dude, and he was cool. Like he was friendly. He was a nice guy. He was like, where you from? I told him from Ireland, and he was like, yo, come and have join me at my table. This guy, he had a VIP table. Just invited me. There's a bunch of like basketball players and everything. Talking away to him, he's offering me like giving me more like drinks and stuff, and cool guy. But then he said, "Yo, come and meet." He took me to another table and said, "Come and meet my mate, my friend." And he took me to a table, and this guy, I don't know, I don't even know if it's true, but he was saying he was Chuck Liddell's son. I didn't really. He kind of looked like him, to be honest, but I have no idea. But Chuck Liddell, the UFC fighter or the retired fighter, and he kind of looked like him, I guess. But this guy was such a dick. I don't know. I almost like I think I had some beef with that guy, like for sure. He was just like the guy that introduced me to him was like super friendly. That he said, but this guy was just I can't remember how we started off the beef, but it didn't go to blows, but it was almost gonna go to blows. But it would have been funny if it went to blows with Chuck Liddell's son. I don't know. I think the guy might have been lying because I don't know. I obviously looked up on Google to check out if like I typed in Chuck Liddell like family or son, and I couldn't see a guy unless Chuck Liddell had a because the pictures that came up were of younger, like a family that there wasn't any guys that were like in their 20s. Unless Chuck Liddell had a son with another woman, with a different woman. But this guy was, he was, I don't know. I think, it's kind of a blackout after that. But it would have been funny if that actually was Chuck Liddell's son. But yeah, might have been, might not have been. I don't know why he would lie. But I didn't get on with that guy one bit. But I don't think it was because I was beefing. I wasn't like acting like this guy was just being a dick. It was so that was it. But I think I don't know. I kind of left that area because it was going to go to blows. If you get in a fight in Japan, it's not good. It's not as bad if it's two foreigners. if it's two foreigners, it's maybe not as bad. But if you get in a fight with a Japanese guy and you know the police catch you, you're like you're going to jail. Japanese don't mess around like that. Matt W in the house. What is good? What is good? Um, yeah. So nothing too crazy happened that night. I think apart from just being really like lit on Jack Daniels and just probably too lit. Not yeah. More uh, probably more on the aggressive side when you're that far gone with whiskey. Don't recommend it. Yeah, kind of made me think about maybe reminisce the next day. The hangover wasn't too bad, but kind of it's more like just being tired because you're just like out all night. I find like when you stick to the same drink, the hangover isn't as bad with whiskey if you're drinking whiskey. But like if you drink beer like all night, you're gonna have a terrible hangover. Or if you mix beers, but I think whiskey's kind of cleaner, so it doesn't give as bad a hangover for some reason. I don't know. Dangerous stuff. Dangerous stuff. Whiskey's a dangerous drug. But yeah, I have to. Yeah, I gotta be careful on that stuff. I gotta take some chill pills for a while. Get my head back to normal. But it always feels kind of good if you go on the tear. Like if you go too hard, and then when you like recover, and you're like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna chill for a bit. It's just yeah, it feels good to be like really good to be sober. Um, Matt W says I really can't drink a lot. It messes up my game. Definitely, if you get too lit, drink definitely messes up your game, without a doubt. You become too belligerent, too loud. Like you want it. It can be good if it can help. It can help to a certain extent, but it gets to a point if you go too far, definitely bad. Like definitely not good. It's way better to be. It's way better to be sober. Way better. Um, it can, like I said, it can help in certain environments. If you're in a club, like when you can't in certain clubs you can't even speak. You can't talk. It's too loud. You can't. You can't. Only you're shouting into someone's ear. You can't really talk. So if you get a bit, certain to a certain level of lit with alcohol, then it can help because you just start having fun. You start. I'm not a dancer. I'm not a dancer at all. But if it can help with that because you lose your inhibitions completely, and it can help with that. Clubs kind of honestly, clubs kind of suck when you're sober, just because it's kind of they're not great. Even though I will go to clubs, and it's more of like a mission. Like honestly, when you go to a club and you're sober, it's like it can actually be good for game because it's more like you're on a mission to get a chick, and like it can be very good because you're kind of focused on looking for girls rather than just getting distracted by drinking all the time or getting too lit. Know your worth in the house. What is good, bro? Yeah. Yeah, so just the past few days I've had a few dates. I've had a few dates from Bumble, and then from couple of weeks back from Night Game. I met up with this mixed Brazilian, Japanese, Italian mixed. She was mixed Brazilian, Japanese, Italian. This girl had such an incredibly fire body. God damn. She was like she was really tall, like 176 centimeters, like blonde and like real juicy booty. To be honest, she kind of looked like honestly, and she had some tattoos, some red flags. But honestly, this girl was like maybe the closest to like kind of. This girl could easily be a porn star. She had that kind of body, and she was that kind of style too. It was pretty damn hot actually, but yeah, she was kind of ratchet, but very. I was very attracted to her. God damn. But yeah, me. Matt says red flags are green lights. Indeed, indeed. Uh, yeah, I mean, I'm honestly, you might sometimes you don't want to date these chicks, but it's like even though you're not going to date them, but you're incredibly attracted to them. Yeah, I'm attracted to the bad girls, definitely. I like sexually attracted to like bad girls. I'm not attracted to innocence at all. Like I like girls that are bad bitches. Like I just like it. I don't know. It's like something about prudish girls is like a real turn off for me. I don't know. I'm too far gone. Maybe I've just been through too much. um, but do do do. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. It is. Yeah, I don't know. It's just. It's good to not have to rely on alcohol. Some guys like I know that alcohol is definitely not necessary. I know that. Like I've done it for years. Like I didn't. I'm kind of nostalgic for the days. Where I, was so you know untempted by alcohol. Like until the first 4 years in Japan, I didn't like even have a single beer. Like I was completely sober. Um, and I still went out, still like did the same thing. But like I said, it's when you're on the booze, when you're sober, it's more like a mission. Because honestly, going to clubs sober is just like it's not. There's nothing really to do other than look for chicks. Like the main thing is people like drink and try and hook up with chicks. And most people end up like just drinking and not hooking up with chicks. So um but yeah, I'm yeah, it's just good to know that you don't need alcohol to get chicks. Like a lot of guys don't understand the concept of going on a sober date, like doing a coffee date. Like I'm surprised actually. I just can't believe how many guys haven't done like a coffee date. Guys think that if they meet a girl during the daytime, that there's no chance of getting laid, and it's like there's no real correlation. It's if you need alcohol to get chicks, you don't have good game. I actually got into an argument with a friend of mine back in Ireland. It was like, he was so butthurt when I said, like, we were just talking, and I told him his game was shit because he was telling me, oh no, I need to have a few drinks to loosen myself up, and I was like, your game's shit. Then you don't have game. And he was like so butthurt and was like, oh, he started saying, he got real butthurt and started saying, oh well, you're in Japan, so it's easier for you because you're a white guy, and fuck that bullshit. It's not, you know, but you know, I'm just telling the truth. Like, if you need alcohol to get laid, like you don't have game. Like you're relying on a substance to like loosen you up. Like it's so you actually don't have game. Um, but like I'm not like criticizing. I wasn't really like. I guess I was criticizing, but like I don't have anything against people who want to have a few drinks. Like that's fine. But I was just basically telling him that it's not necessary. And he came back at me and said, "Oh well, you've probably never you've never done that in Ireland." And I have done that in Ireland. The last time I was back in Ireland, I went on a coffee date and smashed during the daytime, like daylight, and it was in her house. So you can do this anywhere. I'm not just getting like lucky because I'm in Japan. That's bullshit. You know, the reality is like Japan is like it's the third largest economy in the world. It's like Western guys are not gods out here. There's no like we're not special. We're not like we're actually like down like a lower caste. Like if you're real based and honest about it, like you're not going to be the top. I've talked about this before. Like I don't want to like beat it over the head or anything, but like if there was another Japanese guy like me, same height, same kind of build, same basically the same SMV, he's gonna get way more pussy than me, way more. Fact, like that's undisputed. But there's this idea that um people tend to think that you're a white guy in Japan, you're gonna get way more pussy. No, it's a myth, like 100% a myth. Like if you were in, this may be true in like this, in poorer Asian countries like Philippines, like Thailand, you have that, maybe a social status, or they assume that you're gonna have money or something, like kind of gold digger stuff going on. But in Japan, it's just not the case. Yeah. So let's see. Yours says you've got a sweet tooth for bad ones. I definitely have a sweet tooth for bad ones. I definitely like bad chicks. It's like I said, it's just there's nothing really. It's just kind of a turn off when a chick is innocent, if she hasn't fucked before, if she hasn't, if it's like, what, well, you're gonna be, what do you got to offer then? It's not really gonna be good if she's too prudish or something. I like girls that enjoy sex, like that, like are basically, hoes. Like, Matt W says, "Where in Ireland are you from?" I'm from the northwest of Ireland. It's a town called Sligo, small town. Miguel says, Patrice O'Neill wisely said, "Smashing with anger is more enjoyable. Ratchet women bring out the animal in a man." Yeah, I mean, also if a girl is like too nice and sweet, you feel kind of bad, like like smashing and dashing, whatever. But if they're like real, like if they're sleeping around and they've you're not gonna feel as bad. You know what I mean? If the girl's like, if you smash her and she's like falling in love with you and like she thinks you're gonna be her boyfriend, it's a real turnoff, to be honest. I like when they're like not clingy at all. That's just me. I don't know. Super Elite says, dumb question, but will Japanese girls shave their bush, or is it in the culture? So these days, it's not a dumb question. These days, Japanese girls, they're actually like, it's becoming more and more popular to like completely like laser their pussies. Before, like, it used to be that like a traditional kind of Japanese girl that can't speak a lick of English and doesn't really have any interest in foreign guys, she'll tend to have a hairy bush, but everywhere else on her body will be lasered. Like, see, the thing, like if you go to a Western country, like Western girls will like have hair on their arms and shit. Like Japanese girls will like laser that off. But when it comes to the bush, like girls, like Japanese girls that are like really Japanese tend to have a hairy bush. But these days, they've kind of been like doing like advertising a lot about laser hair removal, and it's just becoming like more and more popular apparently for chicks to like laser the pussy. Also, I'm living in Tokyo, so definitely like that's such a like a red pill in a way, because since I moved to Tokyo, I've noticed that like almost every single chick that I smash will have a laser pussy, like smooth, like not a single hair on their pussy. But when I lived up like in a smaller city up north, you'd meet a lot more girls that had like hairy, like a bush, like untamed, but the rest of their body would be, you know, like lasered. Like they wouldn't have a single hair on their body. Like they're just Japanese chicks are next level when it comes to like taking care of themselves and like makeup and hygiene and all that. But you know, Tokyo's like a dog eat dog world. It's like it's just these chicks. They're all like everyone's like everyone's sleeping around basically. So like you know these chicks, it's just they're not gonna be satisfied. They're just gonna bounce. Like Japanese chicks like bounce around like to new guys. So even when they're dating, a Japanese chicks will date a guy, and if something better comes along, she'll monkey branch, like she'll bounce to the next one. Especially in Japan, it's kind of known too. They kind of admit it. Like people don't break up. Usually, Japanese people they kind of stay in a relationship until they find something better. So they don't break up until they find something better. So it's real bizarre. So they cheat a lot. Good question though. I mean, yeah, but I'm definitely a fan of the laser pussy. It's just more hygienic. It's like I'm not like a prude. I'm not like I really it doesn't bother me that much when there's hair, but if I had a choice, it's obviously gonna be the laser pussy. It's just even when it comes to I like the thing about pussy is like some guys are like will be ashamed to say they lick pussy, and I'll be like, dude, like sometimes like it'll be like, no way I'm licking that pussy. It doesn't look good. Not impressed. Like I'll stick to this, pump, pump and dump. It's just not really like pussies they're coming so many kinds, just like dicks. Like pussies come in so many kinds of variety and shapes and conditions. Some pussies are not attractive. Like they don't look good. Some pussies look like perfect. Like it's just a perfect pussy, and they're the kinds of pussies that I'll eat that. That's like my dinner. But it's not even like when you see a pussy like that, you're not even doing it for their pleasure. It's just like it's for your pleasure. It's like, damn, that's a perfect pussy. It's like mouth watering. But it just it is what it is. But when it's like a hairy bush, you don't really want to do it, do you? It's just not very appetizing. But it's nice though when you see a girl and it's like you see it's like just such a neat, perfect pussy. Um, let's see. MacDovies says the only reason I drink at a club is to fit in and not look like a weirdo. I never needed alcohol. LOL. It hinders me if anything. I mean, if alcohol hinders you, like just if you feel like you want to fit in, just get a non-alcoholic beer. Just get a Coke. No one knows. If anyone asks, just say it's vodka and Coke. Who cares? I used to do that all the time just to avoid talking about it. Like if not that I was ashamed of saying I didn't drink, but just because I didn't want to get into like why because everyone asks, oh, why don't you drink, and why it's just kind of get repetitive. So I would just say like they say, what are you drinking? To be honest, most times it doesn't even come up. Most they just assume you're drinking alcohol. If you have a cup with a glass with Coke in it, they assume there's vodka in it. Like so, but if it does come up, just say it's vodka and Coke. It's not a big deal. I mean, you can get non-alcoholic. No one's going to recognize. No one's going to look at the bottle and realize like that it's a non-alcoholic drink. There's ways around it. It's yeah. Matt Delby says, I had a buddy from Donegal. Yeah, my father's from Donegal. It's up north of Sligo. It's a nice spot. Probably not a very good spot to for game, but pretty much anywhere in Ireland is not really yeah. It's gonna unless you're in Dublin or Belfast. it's going to be difficult to really be a real dog. Like I don't think I could, I couldn't live this lifestyle in Ireland. Maybe in Dublin for a year. If I lived in Dublin for a year, then maybe I could live this kind of life, this kind of player lifestyle for a year. But after a year, it would just become too like sad, like kind of rinsed. It would be so rinsed. Um, when you're doing, but it's always good to have game no matter where you are. You know, but yeah. Matt W says, "Do Japanese women get the same high notch count of Western women before they settle down?" It depends on the girl. It depends on the girl. There's like there's so many there's different kinds of Japanese girls, and some of them definitely get a high notch count, and but it's different because Japanese girls, most of them still aspire to settle down and get married. So that's not Western women. Well, the thing about Western women are like brainwashed. And they're also like they lie to themselves. So they really do want to settle down and get married, Western women, but it's not popular, it's not cool, it's not like promoted by popular culture, so they lie to themselves. But it reveals itself when they hit the wall. You'll see all the articles on all these rags of newspapers, the Guardian and all these bullshit progressive like media outlets and stuff, and they'll have articles like, "Where are all the good men? I want to get married. There's all men are bad," and all this stuff. So the reality is Western women do, deep down, they do like desire to, because it's very hard to repress like natural instinct to like reproduce and have kids. So they'll deny it they'll deny until they hit the wall, and then the tragedy, they'll become hysterical. And a lot of them like kind of deal with it either by, some of them will admit it and like blame men and say there's no good men left, but some of them will like double down as a way of dealing with the like trauma of realizing that like it's over. Like the child, they realize, oh my god, like I've missed the boat. Like I've missed that boat. Like I'm not gonna ever experience having kids. I'm never gonna experience like doing what like women are, like humans are. It's such a, I don't think men can understand that kind of, I don't think we don't give birth, but you just hear women talking about it like all the time, like older women that have missed the boat. It's like such a trauma. It's just it's something. Imagine, I guess it would be like a male, a straight male never having sex, I guess, in a way, if you think about it. Like a woman not giving birth would be like a straight, like horny man not ever having sex. It's a bit of a, I guess that makes kind of sense. Um, yeah, that would be kind of traumatic if you think about it like that. That's the only way I can think about it. The way to compare it, it would be like, oh my, it'd be such a, it's probably even worse for women because it's a bigger deal, like to not like give birth to another life. And so many Western women are going to miss that boat, like, and they already have, like they're all, and especially really now, like especially my generation, like millennial women, that's going to be the most biggest train wreck of a generation, like, and the new Generation Z, is probably going to be worse. They're all going to miss that boat. Populate, but in Japan, no, they still, they really, like, they'll openly, uh, you know, admit like to 100% wanting to have kids and get married. So, but yeah, some of them sleep around before, some of them don't. Yeah, but there's I think I was talking about on the last episode where I was on a date with a girl who it was dating a guy for, this was a girl I day gamed like last April or whatever, and saw her on this. I was on my way home. I saw her on the track. Just normal day game, compliment, introduction, get her contact. I hadn't met her. I'd messaged her the odd time. She didn't play ball, but occasionally I would hit her up to Hail Mary. And she finally met me the other week, and so I was asking her why, what was it, and she told me she had a boyfriend, and she'd been dating him for 7 years, and she told me but I asked her had she ever cheated, and she was like, well, I don't see it as cheating. I see it more like sports. So this girl was a, so Japanese women do cheat, and it's kind of, especially Tokyo is kind of well set up for it because there's like love hotels like everywhere. So you can go to love hotel, like you can go to a hotel for like 2 hours. You can pay for like 2 hours and go to a love hotel and just smash and then part ways, and you don't have to bring anyone back to your house or anything. So yeah, that was wild. That was a wild time. Honestly, it's kind of a bit of a fetish of mine. I don't know. I get off on the fact of it of like it's a dangerous game too. I don't recommend it. You go look, but it is kind of kinky if you fuck a girl that has a boyfriend. It's like you're turning them out. You're making them even. It's just like they're even because I like bad bitches. I like girls that are bad, naughty girls. Like so, they have a boyfriend. They're being really fucking bad. So it makes it even more turns me on even more. To be honest. It's yeah, it's like you're dominating them, like you're dominating some girl that has a boyfriend, or even if they're married, like that's even better. But in Japan, apparently you can get sued. Like apparently, like if I bang a married woman, apparently I can get you know like sued for like I think 10,000, the equivalent of $10,000 apparently. But it has never stopped me. Yeah, the chances of it happening are probably pretty slim. But yeah, it happens all the time. You know, people cheat. People cheat everywhere. You know, it's kind of taboo, but it happens a lot here. um, do 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 do. Matt W says, I heard somewhere that Japanese men do nothing but drink and beat their wives. Well, I mean, if there's an epidemic of cheating wives, um, I don't know if Japanese men. See, think about it, Japanese men. They actually most Japanese men can't actually drink that much. So it's almost like hard because like it's almost hard for them to be alcoholics because I'm not saying there's no alcoholics in Japan. There definitely are, but it's like their body won't allow them to drink that much because they'll become far too ill. Like I have a friend, a good friend of mine. He actually lives in Ireland, but he's Japanese, and he can't, he physically can't drink that much because he just gets like his face goes bright red. He gets a headache. Um, so Japanese people will drink like one or two beers and call it a night. They might even have one or two beers every day, but I don't know if they beat their wives. I don't know. I guess there's domestic violence everywhere, but I don't know enough about that. But yeah, Japanese men tend to like. I heard instead of like cheating, I'm sure that some guys obviously cheat with random girls, but what Japanese men openly will admit to like banging prostitutes, like it's not even a secret. Like that's the thing that is funny about Japanese. A lot of like Western guys will like keep that a secret. It's kind of a shameful thing. They'll be embarrassed to admit that they've banged prostitutes in Western countries. They just keep it to themselves. But they don't admit to doing that. But in Japan, guys will kind of like openly like talk about it, like just like they did that, or like, and like normal guys still, like even like young guys, even like university students. It's just because it's so accessible here. I mean, the funny thing is, it's actually It's actually against the law apparently, like outright prostitution, but there's all it's like kind of a blurred line. It's like there's literally magazines where you can order hookers. Like you can get a magazine. Sometimes they have them in like on stands, like where you can flick through a brochure, like random out in the street, um, outside bars or somewhere. There'll be like brochures, like, but it's like a magazine. You flick through it, and there's all listings of girls with photos, and you can order them to your hotel. It's literally prostitution magazine, but like the law says to have sex with them is illegal. But yeah, it's completely, yeah, it is prostitution, and they do have sex. And yeah, even any young guy I've talked to, like Japanese guy, they'll all, most of it, like 90% of them will have banged a prostitute. It's weird. um you know, I guess it's just so accessible, and it's not, I don't know, I wouldn't say it's accepted, but it's, hmm, yeah, they're not very ashamed of it. And Japanese women don't actually see it as cheating if men bang a prostitute, or if they, it's kind of it's just, Japan is a country of contradictions. It's a very strange country. It's a very it's a weird mix of extreme conservatism and extreme perversion. It's kind of great. I like it. I don't like everything about it. There's some things I definitely don't like. It's not perfect, but it's a fun place to be. It's a safe country. It's has tons of beautiful women everywhere you go. It's clean, and at the same time, it has this like very vibrant, like sexual kind of culture. It has like, it has so much, like, um, it's just a fun time. Uh, Danny says, I just talked to a beautiful young black girl who's 20, 21-ish last night. I tried to explain she ought to look at getting a HV man and have a family now. Don't wait. She instead wants to wait until mid 30s. Mid 30s. Yeah, that's like heavily diluted. That's the Western women, they're extremely diluted. They think they can, you know, they think, they've been told by Western society that they're equal to men, like that they're based, so they think that they're the same as men. So they think that they can party and live like men until they're like way past it, like post wall. So when men want to settle down is like mid 30s, late 30s, when they've reached their sexual peak. But women's sexual peak is way back, like it's early 20s. I've said this before, I'll say it again. In my opinion, a woman's like sexual market peak is like 21. Like, wait, like, being honest, like, if we're really being honest, a chick is like at her hottest when she's 21. It's only downhill from there. A guy is not at his best when he's 21. There's no way. Guys can get better in so many different ways. So they've just been, like, this feminism stuff is the blue pill for women, and they've swallowed it hook, line, and sink. When she gets to mid 30s, she's done for. There's no, like, she might find some like beta loser. High quality guy is not gonna, like, she's not gonna find any kind of high quality guy. Plus, even if she does, it's gonna be very difficult for her to even conceive a child, like, because her eggs are dried up. Those eggs are fried, they're scrambled, they can freeze their eggs, do all this stuff, costs like incredible amounts of money. It's ridiculous. It's, basically she's gonna miss the boat. Yeah, and that's most of Western women. Winston says, the only drug I'm on is money and your bitch. Good stuff. Matt W says, banging a hooker, Japanese man's rite of passage. It's kind of true, I guess. I mean, I've heard it from too many guys. Like, I've heard it, Just so many guys are just they openly say it, and there's no embarrassment, there's no kind of taboo. They'll kind of just openly admit it. A lot of Japanese guys, probably the first person I've. This is my opinion. I don't really. I'm not really sure, but I think a lot of their first they lose their virginity to a hooker. Um, it is what it is. Um, I kind of like the way they're honest about it. You got to respect them. They're kind of a different. They just don't really care. Um, Danny says, in my experience, Japanese men aren't the sort to drink heavily nor be violent, and not really the sort to commit domestic violence. That's a good thing, but they aren't very alpha sometimes. No, they're not. They're not very alpha at all. But yeah, no, Japan is definitely this is definitely the safest country I've ever been to. And like I said, they can't actually drink. A lot of them can't actually drink that much. Like even genetically, it's not even their fault. It's not that they're weak. It's just like their bodies can't break down the alcohol as efficiently as Western uh, people can. So it's just like it's like poison to us all. Like alcohol is poison to us all, but it's more poisonous to Japanese people. And it's a contradiction because yeah, you can alcohol is so accessible here. It's like you can buy it 24 hours, 24/7. It's kind of cheap. You can do like they call them nami hodais, all you can drink. So these kind of things would like Western society would collapse if it was this easy. In Ireland, I think you can only buy alcohol until like 10 p.m. We need these rules because people need to be babysitted because they just like drink themselves to death. Like it's wild, but you know, uh, definitely not. But I don't know. The Japanese men, they're kind of they get criticized for being pussies and but I don't know. They keep their women kind of in check. I guess they're kind of like they keep the beauty stand. But then again, Japanese women just like being feminine. Like it's not like I don't even think they need to be kept in check. They just enjoy being feminine, being beautiful. You know, um, it's just a good place to be. Matt says, dude, women start descending from peak hotness once they've gone out legal drinking for the first time. Yeah, really, like, Western women like drink, smoke, do drugs. So, plus, first of all, genetically, Western women age faster than Asian women. Uh, so that's not on the side. Plus, they have swallowed the feminism pill. And then on top of that, they're drinking, doing drugs, like having a lot of sex. So this really like this increases the speed of decline like so much. Like it's so delusional. It's just the truth to say that like a woman's peak, like her peak is so early. Like it's so early. It's like, you know, it depends on the woman, like, but you know, there's a reason. I've said it before. There's a reason. There's the fashion brand Forever 21. It's because women want to stay 21 forever. It's like the perfect. It's like kind of the perfect age for a woman. Like her skin will be like full. It'll be like full. There'll be no wrinkles. Um, just be moisturized skin. It'll be just her body. Her boobs will be perked up. Her if she she'll have a nice shape. Depends on how hot she is in general, but you know it just goes downhill from there. Like that's the truth. I don't. It's just a fact. Like it's just a fact. Um, but yeah, I mean the thing is like some you could even say like Matt says 19-year-olds versus 20-year-old and above. I mean yeah, you could even say 19 is just is going to be hotter. But the thing, like when a girl gets to 21, she'll tend to like dress better. She'll kind of have figured out, how to look really hot. When girls are kind of younger, they kind of maybe won't dress as well or take care of themselves as well. But by the time they get to 21, it's like they should have all that figured out and like understand how to look like really attractive to men. But yeah, I've seen some seriously hot 19-year-olds, even 18-year-olds. I hooked up with an 18-year-old a few like maybe like 2 weeks ago. Not that pussy tastes like hope, guys. That pussy tastes like hope. It was a good time. Um, it was a good time. Like I think, I'll choose like, you know, 18-year-old pussy versus 28-year-old pussy. If the 28-year-old is like hot, but the 18-year-old is average, I'll choose the 18-year-old because just like, you know, just the quality, just the quality of 18-year-old pussy is kind of can't be beaten. Just cannot. Uh, yeah. So Winston Wolf says, "I like to say girls expire 24." Where are you at, Winston? You've told me before, but just remind me. Remind me again. 24. Certain like I see girls like Western girls, especially in Ireland, like 24 is like a lot of girls are definitely in decline, like certainly in decline by 24. In terms of it's just a fact. Like I will never take that back. It's a fact of life. Like their bodies are men age like wine, women age like milk. That's a perfect way to put it. It just is what it is. You can't hate on it. It's just these women obviously hate on it because it's nature. It's not fair. It might not be fair. It's like seems unfair, but that's just the root, like the laws of nature. It's just women, like women were producing like reproducing way earlier back in the day. We're talking like hundreds of years ago. Women were producing way earlier. They're like humans are made to like reproduce way early. Like women are not supposed to be like reproducing like in their mid-30s. That's not like they should be like back in the day, like even men, none of us survived into old age, so we reproduced way earlier. Um, you know, uh, Winston in Romania, good stuff, man. I've seen some hot Romanian women. I'm not sure what life is like or how Romanian women take care of themselves, but I think there's definitely some hot women in Romania. Matt says, true, they will dress like a woman by 21. Yeah, man, like if they haven't figured it out by 21, they're not gonna figure it out, or they're just not really, they should be looking like super sexy by 21 or know how to look super maximize their, if she's a 7, she should like know how to maximize that. Like, it's funny. It's so funny though, but like you see all these, you see such wasted talent. The tragedy about Western societies now, you actually see so much wasted talent. Like girls that never like they've swallowed the feminism pill and they dress like actually girls that could be really hot. Like genetically, they won the lottery, but they've swallowed this like progressivism and they dress like shit. They wear all this baggy stuff. They don't take care of themselves. They never really maximize their looks. Like they don't dress like a woman. They don't dress feminine. And then when it's too late, like they kind of panic and maybe try and make a bit of an effort, but they missed that boat. They kind of missed. It's so unfortunate they never made that effort when they were actually really young and beautiful. Like they never actually like made the effort to put on the high heels, like wear this like sexy dresses. Instead, they thought they were like, it's not really fashionable or cool, so they wear all this garbage, like baggy, like stuff that guys would wear. Um, and but then when it's like they're way past it, when they're like 28, 29, they make an effort, but it's unfortunate, it's like, okay, you're trying, it's too late. Like, it's like, okay, you kind of missed that. But I've seen it happen. Like, I've seen it happen. The chicks I grew up with, they had a lot of potential. They were hot, but they kind of swallowed that pill, the blue pill, and then you see them kind of getting desperate when they've hit the wall, like crash bang, and they make an effort, and it's like it's too late. You could have been a like super hot chick like back in the day, but you just like you thought you were a dude. You're not. um. Uh. Matt says, back in the day, a 28-year-old woman had a gaggle of kids and maybe her first grandchild. That's like not even a joke. Like seriously, like back in the day, my grandmother had 10 kids. Like insane. It's insane. That's that. Women aren't like that anymore. Um. Uh. They're just like you're gonna see all these kids with like when a woman has a child at like in her 30s, the chances of some kind of medical condition like autism or some like disability or like it just increases. Depends, um, mental problems, um, you know. Yeah, I don't know, guys. It's just we just adapt to the situation and learn this game and just enjoy ourselves because we're not going to change the world. We're just going to change our own lives, make our situations better. Life is short. I mean, life is like, I guess I didn't really talk about it much, but I was going to talk about how you know a lot of guys take life too seriously. Like, this is for the guys that are actually, doing well kind of in life, or doing reasonably well. Even guys that are average, or like even guys below average, they take life too seriously. And especially when it comes to women, when it comes to pussy, if you take life too seriously, if you take yourself like too seriously, it impacts like on your ability to like seal the deal. Because guys that take life too seriously tend to like overthink things, overanalyze situations, overanalyze women. They tend to think women are more complicated than they actually are. They worry about what conversations, like they worry about really stuff that is really insignificant, like non-issues, stuff that isn't actually important, but they put too much importance on stuff that shouldn't be an issue. Like worrying about if it's awkward when they meet the girl on a date. They worry about things like, oh, if I run out of things to talk about. You just shouldn't even be an issue. Like, when you're going on a date, you shouldn't have any, just you shouldn't give a shit. Like, you should just be thinking, how am I going to bang this bitch? I need to get her back to my house as soon as possible. I need to smash her. I shouldn't be worrying about what questions am I going to ask her and stuff. You just need to develop that confidence. Stop like taking life too serious. Like you know and then on the other end of the scale, like some people like that don't take life seriously enough. you know some people obviously need to take life more seriously if their life is a complete mess, but that's obviously no one in this chat. But it's when you really think of what inspires me to like enjoy life more, is when I think about the fact that everyone, some people think it's depressing, but for me personally, I don't get it. It's more inspiring and more like relieving when I think like everyone around us, everyone you've ever known, your entire family, everyone, all your friends, rich, poor, smart, dumb, fat, ripped, they're all gonna die. We're all gonna die. Like we're all going to the grave. We're all gonna be shooting up the daisies. So why not just like explore life, try and like have the best time you can without over analyzing things and worrying about things too much. That's that's what I think. Um, but it is what it is. If you go to any situation, you're too tense about it. You're too you're over analyzing things. It's not going to help. You know, it's not going to help. But yeah, I'll probably leave it on that note. But yeah, just fucking enjoy life. Enjoy the end of the year and wherever you're at. I'll be back tomorrow night with another show of Player Life. So as usual, like, comment, subscribe, and I will catch you guys tomorrow night. Peace out. Have a good day wherever you're at. Bye bye.